What's good, my boys? Splashy here, and today's video is gonna be the new trophy case tier list. We might as well just get straight into it. Y'all know I never do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Just kidding. But my tiers will be trophy case level. This will be cards that are comparable to specific trophy case. They could have been a trophy case card and you would have happily grinded for them. And or this basically just best cards on the game. These mean these cards are comparable to the top trophy case players, if not better than the top trophy case players. Should have a copy just means he should be somewhere in your lineup if you can spare the MT and or find a way to get him. Good means they're good, but it's not like they're necessities. Not meta would be like Stephen Curry. Like, he obviously should play, but he's not meta. And then Laughable is like Joe Ingles. So let's get straight into it. First, we got Evan Fournier's. We have his diamond. I'm gonna say Laughable, and it's only because with how much you have to put into his Evo, I don't think him. We can also put Goran Dragic here too. I don't think him or Goran Dragic are like cards that you are writing home about. Like, boom. But then we get to like Jared Vanderbilt. I think Jared Vanderbilt is good. So that show I'm not just hating on the Evos. It's just like Dragic can't dunk. I do like his D stats. He does have a decent shot, but him not being able to dunk, it's not even to the point where it's not meta. Why are you getting 400 steals, 600 points, going to the grocery store and getting everything off the rack to get Goran Dragic if he's not even startable? You feel me? Like, I've played a lot of unlimited. I play a lot of my bad. I take a little sip of my water. But I played a lot of limited, I play a lot of unlimited, I play a lot of triple threat, I play a lot of clutch time. I don't never see those two cards, and it has to be for a reason. So they'll be the first two in Laughable. 3, Joe Ingles is next in Laughable. Probably the worst shot on the game next to Elgin Baylor's shot. I just don't think there's a point in grinding for cards of this caliber who aren't gonna come through. You feel me? Like, Jared Vanderbilt can start in a good lineup right now. Like, in one of the best lineups, you can put him at the 4 and you can excel. His only flaw is the fact he has 22 stamina. Like, so that's what I mean by, like, they could be good to the point where they're not meta, but I just don't. I think all of those Evos, especially with the fact that there is no reward, are a waste of time. Next we got Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson, it's like he's actually not that bad. He should be in good, but the reason I'm going to put him in Laughable is because he's a point guard with no playmaking badges. Like, he has no handles for days, no unpluckable, and I could go on and on. I just don't think, I like his player build, and I do also think he has the worst fade on the game. For my people who evoed them, hey, if you gonna tell me, well, I got one of these 4 in my lineup and I'm hooping, maybe you just like that. You feel me? Maybe you just like that. But I actually don't think Jordan Clarkson is actually that bad. I probably would put Jordan Clarkson in like good. Like, Jordan Clarkson isn't a horrible card, but I want to put him in Laughable because he can't play PG because he has no playmaking badges, and that's where he would excel as shooting guard. We have too many shooting guards and small forwards in which, like, he's not a threat. Why would you run him over the 95 people I'm going to get ready to put into tiers? Next, we got Kelly Olynyk. I have no problem with Kelly Olynyk. I've gotten popped by a few Kelly Olynyks. He can play the 4. I don't think he can play the 5. I wish he was still a little bit faster because his speed only capping out at 64 is pretty bad, but I've seen a lot of people not mess with him. I played some people in limited. I played some people in triple threat. I've seen this card, so he's obviously usable to a certain avail, but like the other 4, I just think they're laughable. Next, we got Benedict. The reason I'm going to put Benedict and should have a copy is not even because he is still one of the most longevity-based Evos I've ever seen that came out in the beginning of the year, who still can be in a top 10 right now. And when I say a top 10, it's because shooting guard, small forward is so stacked that you can put a shooting guard that might not be Ron Artest or Jimmy Butler in a lineup, and you still, like, if you play Benedict, you're scaring the other person probably more than you're scared of. Like, you're not gonna go just try to run at Benedict all game because that's not intelligent. On top of the fact you have to have a copy for him because he is the best offline grinder. Like, with the Evo glitch, well, I'm pretty sure most of y'all know, but I'm gonna put y'all on. If you put 3 Evos, they can be 3 fully Evo diamonds into triple threat offline or clutch time offline, you will play versus the beginning tier of what their Evo was, so which is usually Sapphire. So it's like you get to use top tier cards while also playing against horrible cards. So that's always fun. And I do just think he is the best. He's the best for co-op. I think the only comparable player would be like Purple Steph, because obviously he can shoot from Hall Blameless, but He's usable in co-op. He's usable in TT off. He can still play in unlimited. I just think everybody should have a copy of Benedict with how good he is. Next we got Chet. Chet is good. 46 strength at the center position isn't the best, but he still gets good animations. I still think at the 4, if you're running a big lineup, he still is a threat to like actually be. That's why I like the Evos this year. Some of the Evos have so much longevity that you have to look at him and be like, dang, he's really survived this long. Chet is still a good 4. Can you run him when they're running like let's see. Well, none of the real big people can play the 4 yet. But like, let's say they're running Alonzo Mourning and they're post-spinning you every play. Obviously, you're going to have to either play some better D or get him out the game. But he still does what he's supposed to do. Next, we got Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels is also good. I see him in tourney lineup still to this day, bench point guard. And it's because with how low his 3 is, he doesn't miss. It's butter. It's butter. Because usually for some reason, the people with the lower 3s, him, Alex English, usually have the quickest jump shots. His jump shot is crazy quick. He gets stand dunks and he's like a 6'6" point guard. Like, that's something you can't replace still to this day. Like, Dyson Daniels I could make a starting lineup right now and put Dyson at the 1 and I wouldn't be that mad about it. Like, you feel me? I still like Dyson and I do still think he is a reliable option. Next we got Paulo. Paulo is also good. You can still run Paulo at the 4 and you're not just getting killed. Paulo gets some of the best rebounding animations on this game, so when he gets another card, he's going to be scary because his rebounding attributes aren't even crazy, and neither are his like rebounding badges and defensive badges, but he plays D with the 70 stats that he has and somehow jumps out the gym. Might probably because of his vertical though, but I still like Paulo. He's still an amazing card. You can still play him at the 4. He's still needed. Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso is also good. This is a top point guard as of right now. Like, top point guards off the top of my head, obviously you got Westbrook, you got John Wall, you got Cade. Now after those 3, that's when Caruso, Dyson, DJ Murray, etc. comes into play. So next we got Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire, it's not that he's really bad. It's like I might have to change this from not meta because he's not laughable. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take out not meta. I'm gonna put eh. So I'm gonna put Amari Stoudemire eh. Just with the power forwards that we're dropping right now, I do think he meets the standards of drive and dunk and shot. It's just his player build is a little too small, and you're not scared of Amari Stoudemire if you see him at the 4 compared to if you see a trophy case big, a Dennis Rodman, a Chris Bosh, etc. I have no problem with Amari Stoudemire. Let me look at his stats again real quick. 69 steal, 84 interior, 74 perimeter, 78 3. Like, it's just nothing to write home about, and he's also a power forward that can't get anchored. So since that is all put into play, I have him at eh. Andre Iguodala, I do think you should still have a copy of Andre Iguodala. He is the best takeover player to me with what he brings to the table according to the meta and the fact that we have 67,000 shooting guards and he somehow can still play in a top 10 lineup. I think with your limited option pack from season 1, you should have been able to come upon an Andre Iguodala. He can still guard ball. He can still give Westbrook problems. He gives John Wall problems. He gives Cade problems. He can switch on the screen and give a big man problems. They changed his jump shot. It's smooth. Only thing he's missing, literally, the only thing he's missing is you can't like upgrade his shooting badges, and I don't think that he has anchor. Yeah, you just can't give him anchor, but I think he still does do his job at an exquisite level, and I do think you should still have a copy of Andre Iguodala if you can come across one. Next, we have Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is another person from the limited option pack. I'm not mad if you got, with the meta of the game right now, which is close your eyes, go to the basket, and dunk on 5 people, and the fact that he has normal fate. Anthony Edwards is a threat to be dealt with, especially if you know how to put him in situations where he's getting an easy dunk, or you're telling him to cut to the basket for a standing dunk, or he's normal fading when they think you're going to go paint. All of that, I do just think, like, he's amazing. Like, Anthony Edwards is still good. I still like his card, but once again, the problem with the shooting guard small forwards is that's the only position we have compared to, like, we still need more point guards, we still need more power forwards, we still need more centers. Like, that's why we go home. That's why we go so crazy when a Kareem drop or when our next PG drop. We're going to go so crazy because all we see is shooting guard small forwards, and at some point we need to take a break. Next we got Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin goes in because Blake Griffin only got, let me drink some of my water. Blake Griffin only got any tick because of the fact we had no big men at the time. Like, people were running Paulo over him at the 5. Like, Blake obviously fits the meta of dunking on everybody, but his shot is abysmally slow, and it's almost ridiculous how hard it is to put him in, especially with how bad his D-stats is. And that should tell you something, because he's very comparable to his level 40 that came out 2 years ago, and he is piss poor this year, but he was in a lot of lineups because a lot of people needed poppers, but I still think he's just eh. Next we got Bobo. Bobo's and good. He's going to be getting a new car soon because he is annihilating players in real life. I think he just went 10 for 11 or something yesterday. So I do like Bobo. I consider people like him and Amis like him who are just so good, Anthony Simons, etc. I refer to him as limited legends. That's what we're going to call players like this. Like, they're limited legends. Like, if you don't have him in your limited lineup and you're allowed an Ami or two, you're tripping. Same thing with like Giannis. Giannis is a limited legend. Anthony Simons is a limited legend. Like, we have limited legends, and he's the top tier of limited legends. Like, if you can run an Ami big, you should be running him. I love me some Bobo, though. I just think, like, his D-stats was good. His 3 is good. If his strength and badges were a little bit better, like, bro, he could probably start. So that's why when he gets another card, especially if he could play the 4, he's going to be such a threat. But I like Bobo. Next, we got Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is It's nothing to write home about because we got 5,000 shooting guards. I do think he can shoot from a far distance. He can put the ball on the ground. His fade, I wish it was a little bit better. Make sure I'm not tripping. I'm pretty sure it's not normal fade. Yeah, he has his own fade. Like, I wish that fade was a little bit better. I don't like the people who get their own fades outside of like Steph Curry and a few more, Trey Young and stuff. But Bradley Beal isn't bad. It's just his D stats are abysmal. On top of the fact, like, you're not scared of Bradley Beal as you would be if you load up versus Anthony Edwards, Andre Iguodala, and the fact, like, even if I compare him to Benedict, like, it's not close. Next, we got Cade. Cade is trophy case level. And for all of you who still want to know, is the Cade grind worth it? Cade is still my starting point guard. He probably has the most spots as a starting point guard prior to John Wall coming out, and he's still in lineups. And the reason being because I think in the best lineup you can make right now, obviously I'm not going to name the 5 because it's off the top of my head right now, but like, Cade has to be somewhere in your lineup if you want the maximum amount of stops, and it's because Cade can. The game doesn't go off statistics this year. This game goes off player build. So Cade doesn't have the most outrageous stats, but his player build is good. He's like 6'8" in game. He gets stops. Same thing with like Westbrook. Westbrook's defensive stats are horrible, abysmal, but he gets way more stops than any other trophy case PG because of his bulky player build. They ignore stats to a certain avail on this game, and they make you run specific players for player build. That's why everybody's crying for a Magic, an Oscar, a Penny, because when those cards come out, like we're gonna see. I'm talking fast. Gotta make sure I give me some water. This right off the wake up, and the teeth breath don't stink. But yeah, I still love Cade. Everybody said Cade was gonna get benched the following week. Cade has lasted 3 to 4 weeks by now. Like, Cade has been doing his job. He's reliable. He probably has the most tourney wins under his belt out of every single guard besides Westbrook. Like, I still think on the game right now, I think it goes Westbrook. Well, I think it depends on your style of play, but training wheels wise, one is Westbrook, because you actually have to know how to use K. Like, you have Kate on the court and you're trying to drop 50 or you're trying to dunk on 10 people. Like, he obviously can't do that how John Wall and Russell Westbrook would, but he still excels in the areas that they don't excel at. Like, you're gonna get scored on less when you have him in the game compared to when you have John Wall and Russell Westbrook in the game. Like, so I do think he's tied as the second best point guard on the game for specific playstyles. I think he's my best point guard until further notice. Next, we have Carmelo. Carmelo, you should have a copy of Carmelo because Carmelo has the 3rd best shot on the game as of right now. Tim Thomas is number 1 with the LaMelo ball based on quick. Kuzma is number 2 if you haven't shot with the Kuzma card or haven't even tried out a Kuzma card. Don't know if you want to lock it in. Go, use his gold and shoot around with it and see how fast it is. 3 is Carmelo. Their shots are almost so fast, they're basically uncontestable. Like, do you know how fast a shot has to be for it to be uncontestable? Like, you have to literally click on and go guard Carmelo Anthony because they can just throw him the ball and shoot every play. So I'm still a fan of Carmelo Anthony. When he gets a Knicks or Nuggets card, shout out RCA for that one because I've been seeing him praying on that one. He is going to be in starting lineups at the 3 or the 4 and be the biggest threat anybody has seen at that position for a while. So that's all I got to say on Melo. Next, we got Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh is good. I'm not going to put it to the point where you should have a copy because a lot of people are copping trophy case bigs And I don't think he's that much better than most of the trophy case bigs. But Chris Bosh's longevity, especially on this game, is a lot better than it usually is. Chris Bosh's cards usually come out like it did last year with the primetime setting. He didn't even touch the floor. This year, changed his jump shot. They gave him the duo with Dwayne Wade to make sure he gets half rebound. He gets some good animations. Like, Chris Bosh does his thing. Like, I like Chris Bosh, and especially if you still need a popper, please get him while his price is still dropping. Next, we got DJ Murray. The reason I'm going to put DeJounte in Laughable, I don't know if y'all have looked at it, but he plays defense in real life. But his defensive stats never compare to what he does in real life. 53 interior, 32 block, and 82 steal. But for some reason, he has every single D badge across. I just don't like how they treated him. He does have normal fade and Michael Jordan dribble style. I'm probably going to put him in eh. But I don't like how they usually treat him when he gets a card, like to act like he's never played a lick of defense in his life. Like, he can't have every single D badge on the game, but somehow be trash defensive stats wise. Like, the math's not mathing. So that's where I got that's where I got DeJounte. Next, we got DeMar DeRozan. The only reason you should have a copy is so you could get Tim God. Nah, I'm just playing. DeRozan is good. I have no problem with him. The reason I'm not gonna even put him in should have a copy is because he costs 1.9 million, like, to get, because you want to lock in the best card on the game right now, who has a large gap on everybody else. So DeMar DeRozan is like, he's good, but most of the people are going to play him because they spent $2 million on him, not because he's actually good. Like, this is not a card you're just going to cop and put in your lineup. This is a card you're putting in your lineup because you just spent $2.9 million to lock in Tim Thomas. Why would you put him in your 10 through 13 reserves unless you pull a pack? So I like DeMar DeRozan. He's actually pretty good. I wish his defensive stats were a little bit better, but he's not like bad. I just don't think he's a top shooting guard. Dennis Rodman is good just because of how good his defense is on this game. He's probably the solo best defender on the game, especially if you throw him at the 3. If y'all want to know if y'all have him, if you should play him at 3 or 4. If you want the biggest lineup possible, you obviously put him at the 3, and that's what carries the game and is the meta, is running the biggest lineup possible with double bigs. Now you have triple bigs if you put him at the 3. He plays way better D than Draymond, but I still would rather run Draymond than him. So that would be like where I would rank him. Shot is like very weird, especially off the catch, and when like it's when you shoot the ball with him, like let's say Alonzo Mourning's shot is very easy to time, and they both dang near have the exact same shot, but for some reason Dennis Rodman's is so much slower. So like that's what it is. I like Dennis Rodman though. He can have a spot in the top 10 right now if you were making a lineup, but I don't think he will. Next we have Devin Booker. Devin Booker is laughable because he's a level 40. Like, Devin Booker is so bad for a level 40 that it's ridiculous. Like, the fact that we grinded to a shooting guard, and listen, if y'all are a fan of the Suns, he's obviously the best card on the game. If y'all have been trying him and y'all using the fact that he has his half agent 3, or you're trying to find a way for him to be good, I understand you, brother. Like, you don't gotta come for my neck. This just the tier list at the end of the day. I'm just going off what I try. Devin Booker is the only card to this day I tried to do a gameplay on, and I almost couldn't do it because he couldn't do anything. He can't move. It's really hard for him to get to the paint to score consistently. He just greens yellows. His strength is greening yellows. Like that's his strength. Shooting a bad shot and making it. And it's not to the point where you're going to get 60 points doing it. But I just don't think it's better to go for the level 39 badge than go to get him at level 40. You feel me? That's crazy. I do think he makes Mikal Bridges good. But I just think him being a level 40, if he was an auctionable card, he would be good. But him not touching lineups or being like even the top 5 shooting guards right now, and he's the level 40 we grinded for, is ridiculous. It's a wasted level 40. So I'm going to have him in Laughable just because I just think they did him really bogus. Next, we got Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is good for... Oh, here we go. Donovan Mitchell is good for sure. Don't get me wrong. My only thing with Donovan Mitchell is the fact that he has these 2 animations that make him not as much of a threat as a Westbrook, a Derrick Rose, a John Wall. If you almost cut him off in the paint, he has a 2-hand Harlem Globetrotter layup where he flies through the air like his Space Jam, and he gets that animation a lot. And he also has a one-handed layup animation that he'll go up with instead of dunking a wide open lane because there's somebody in his vicinity without touching him yet. Like, he's really, and the fact he also can't stand the dunk, of course, but He's really bad rim running wise, but I do think if you switch up your game plan and you actually want to shoot the ball from deep, on top of play the best defense possible, and like I think he is your guy. He still has a real confusing sig size up for most people to guard. So I like Donovan Mitchell, but I do think his tendencies obviously just don't match up. Next we got Draymond Green. Draymond Green goes directly next to Dennis Rodman. I think they're literally dang near the same car, except Draymond Green has Michael Jordan dribble style and normal fade. Like Draymond, like he plays D. Only thing is his shot is on slow. Him and Blake basically have the exact same shot, but Draymond's is slower, and it's really easy to get a handout on. That's why I'm not going to put him to the point where it should have a copy or trophy case level. I like the Draymond Green card, just like it's really hard to play him with the fact that he almost can't get his shot off in traffic. Next, we got Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is also good. I'm not going to put him to the point where he should have a copy. I really like Dwayne Wade and Bosh's duo. I think if you are playing one, you should be playing the other. But I like the Dwayne Wade. Of course I do. It's just him having a 95 driving dunk with no dunk animations and it still hasn't been updated yet makes him not as much of a threat in the paint. Because when they don't have, let me tell y'all what the problem is with not having dunk animation. When you don't have tomahawks equipped or quick drops equipped or two hands equipped or anything, that means when you go to the paint, it's easier to take you out. So go to the paint with Stephen Curry and see how much you take him out of his animation compared to going to the paint with somebody who has tomahawk dunks. And it's the same thing with Dwayne Wade. You can take him out of every animation in the paint because he doesn't have any dunk packages. And for some reason, it's still not fixed to this day. On top of the fact, what used to be one of the best shots on the game got ninja nerfed so bad that the shot is almost not even the closest thing to being a threat anymore. So that's that. Next we got Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones is also good. I'm wondering when I'm gonna get to another person you should have a copy of. Eddie Jones is good. Now grinding 135 games for him, I don't know. I do think he's gonna be a pest on defense. I wish they didn't BS his block and make it really bad, but I do think Eddie Jones, with the meta right now, he obviously has a high driving dunk. He also can guard ball, and that's what you want your shooting guard to do instead of your small forward, because the small forward usually has to guard the bigger small forward. Like, why would I put my LeBron on ball and you have LeBron at the 3? You feel me? Why would I put Tim Thomas on ball and you have Tim Thomas at the 3? I might as well let them match up with each other or put a better defender on your small forward, because that's really who is the threat on this game nowadays. I like the Eddie Jones. Is just, are you going to do that mindless grind that people hate doing on Fridays? Next, we got Chemos. Chemos is trophy case level because there is almost no big man on the game besides Reem that's even comparing to him. I think like you got AD and Hakeem box. I like that, but he's obviously trophy case and he's an opal as well. Big Z and Sabonis, they still box with Hakeem, and it's because he can't stop the mindless mashing in the paint, but he can outrun him, stretch him out. Stretch him out with popping from deep. He has a 93 ball. Hakeem is good. He also has the half anchor. I like Hakeem, and I do think he is trophy case level, if not being better. He's boxing with all the best trophy case centers. I think he's better than Patrick Ewing. I think he's better than Mutombo, and I think he's better than Alonzo Mourning, Jermaine O'Neal, Kevin McHale. I think he's better than all of them. I think Big Z and Sabonis are in their own tier just because of the mindless mashing and the fact they're training wheels. When y'all hear me say training wheels, it means obviously it's like riding a bike. You give them training wheels, anybody can ride a bike. You take them off, can they do it? Anybody can use Big Z or Sabonis, but if you make them use Jermaine O'Neal, will they be as much of a threat? No, exactly. But he obviously is trophy case level. Isaiah Thomas is laughable. He's horrible. Like, Isaiah Thomas not even coming with clamps might be the craziest thing I've ever seen since, I don't know. I don't got nothing. Usually I got him coming to my head quick. I don't got it. But Isaiah Thomas is just not as good. And no, it's not because, no, I'm not saying it's because he had a 99 dunk last year. It's just him not coming with clamps and having the best defensive stats possible as for a diamond PG. It's crazy. Next we got J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is good. I like J.R. Smith. I like Lil Henny. Like, if you know what you're doing with him, outside of the fact he has a crazy N1 move. Hold up. Outside of the fact he has a crazy N1 move, he can still be a threat. He can shoot from very far. His jumper is also hard to contest because he greens so many yellows. Like, I think he's good. If Devin Booker came out as an auctionable card with a higher dunk, he would have been J.R. Smith, basically. Like, you feel me? If Devin Booker was an auctionable card, I would have him in good. But Devin Booker is a level 40, so he's laughable. Just like if J.R. Smith was a level 40, he would have been able to touch every badge. So, yeah, I like Henny, though. Jalen Green is I don't think he's crazy laughable. I've seen some people using him like as their main shooting guard and they're dunking. His shot is very slow, but you weren't expecting Jalen Green to be like the best card in the game or nothing. So I have him in Next we have James Harden. James Harden is also, it's like I want to put another tier between A and good and put it like skill gap card, because James Harden is really a threat if you learn how to use him with his standing moves. I think he has the best dribble sigs on the game. His standing behind the back, his crossover, which gets him right straight to the point. He has the step back that gets a stun every single time, but he can't run laterally. Like, you feel me? I love the James Harden card, but the fact that he can't run laterally, it's the same thing as I call it the Dame curse. Like, if y'all seen somebody use Dame, like, it's the same thing. Like, you can't run forward. So the fact, like, even if you get put in a full court press, Harden can't run forward. Like, you have to give the ball up or repeatedly run sideways, and he stutter steps in between all of it. So I like Harden, especially if you learn how to use him. I think he is one of the inevitable skill gap cards on the game, but for everybody, I just don't think he would be good. Next, we got Ja Morant. I think you should have a copy of Ja Morant. Ja Morant's longevity for coming out as like the second dang near PG we came out and can still start in lineups, is still starting in most lineups, or coming off the bench. Also comes with silver anchor, gets some good animations. One of the scariest rim runners on the game. Also shot coming on quick. It's just amazing. Literally his only flaw is like you can abuse him if you really try to put his head into the rim every play. But I think everybody should have a copy of Ja Morant with how much of a threat he is on this game. Next we got Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is like, I want to put him in but I've seen him in some lineups, and I think he's dang near the same as Caruso outside of the fact he can't dunk. He plays D. His shot is on quick. Like, he does what he's supposed to do. He just has Dame's moving crossover, so he can't do the backwards escape off command unless you, like, do it a different way. So that's one of the most deadly moves on the game that you can't do on command. 1, 2, he runs like Jason Kidd. Like, he runs like a slug. But I do think, like, he can play, just because our point guards are so minuscule. Next, we got Jason Tatum. I think you should also have a copy of Jason Tatum. When the lock-in glitch was a thing, it got patched, by the way. I think, like, when we got Jaylen Brown, you should have Jason Tatum in your lineup. I still think Jason Tatum can play at the small forward position right now in top lineups, and I've seen Jason Tatum in a few lineups. Like, I like the Jason Tatum. He fades away from the contest, not as bad as Jimmy does, but he fades away from the contest, which is why it's very hard to contest him. He gets good animations in the paint. His stats are good for one. This is a card. When he gets another card, he's going to be a threat. Next, we got JJ Redick. JJ Redick is a limited legend, so I'll put him in He's actually not bad for, like, the fact he has a 99 dunk, has one of the easiest shots to time, can somewhat put the ball on the ground. Like, he's a limited legend. I like JJ Redick. Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is, is he good or I'll put Joel Embiid in good, just because of the anties he gets in the paint. He gets a few stops in the paint. His shot is just cruised. Like, his shot being cruised is just like the main reason. It's only so much we can say on him as a whole. Like, his shot is crazy cruised. Next, we got John Wall. John Wall is up there with trophy case level, if not debatably the best point guard on the game. If you want your PG to be a threat on the offensive end, somewhat still be able to get stops and shoot the ball quick, like, you almost can't off-ball John Wall because he gets the ball off so fast. His animations are ridiculous. He finishes in the paint at a high level, and I've seen him get animations in which he's blocking big men. Like, John Wall doesn't need to be said about anything else. I think Westbrook is easier to use, but John Wall can also be used just as much as a threat. We got Kareem. Kareem is trophy case level. Kareem is, I think, the best center on the game if you can shoot with his 63 ball. If you can't shoot with his 63 ball, then I mean him and Hakeem are boxing for who's the top center spot. But the difference between Kareem and Hakeem is Kareem makes sure that Big Z and Sabonis stuff don't happen on Kareem. That Wilt stuff won't happen on Kareem. Nobody's abusing Kareem in that paint. Kareem's going to get the animations, whether it's Yao Ming, whether it's Ralph Sampson, whether it's Sim Bular, whether it's George Mearson. Kareem's going to get all the anties because of how gas his player building animations are in this game. And the fact he comes with base 90 speed is ridiculous. Next we got Cat. Cat is a good card. Just the fact that you have to play him at the forward because he can't get anchor, and your center not having anchor with how much people are going to the paint on this game is ridiculous. Next we got Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is also good. He's not nothing to write home about. His defensive stats aren't as gas as they usually are. His jump shot is also not the best cone jump shot on the game. He's just like a regular small forward now. So maybe when he gets another card and gets like 90 steal, 92 block, 99 lateral quickness, 99 perimeter, we'll talk about him again. But as of right now, usually when Kawhi comes out, Kawhi is the starting small forward until they drop LeBron. And Kawhi's not making the top 10 right now probably. So he is good though. Next we got Kemba. Kemba's probably has the second best dribble sigs on the game next to James Harden sigs, but he can't dunk. Players who can't dunk go down unless they have the best defense on the game. And he does have pesky defense with like half glove, half pick dodger because he's glitched, but he doesn't have the defense to stop somebody in the paint, especially with his player build size. Next we got KG. KG is also trophy case level. When Hakeem and Kareem didn't come out, KG was holding it down, and I think he still holds it down at the 4. He cannot stop the bigger centers at the 5, but he was holding it down at the 4 for sure. Next we got Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is also, I think Chris Middleton and Kawhi are literally the exact same thing, except Chris Middleton can shoot a little bit better. Like, I think they're literal twins. Wherever Kawhi goes, Chris Middleton goes. Like, they're the same thing. Next we got Kuzma. Kuzma is going to go and should have a copy. It's the same thing I said about Carmelo. He has the best jump shot on the game. Like, he has the best jump shot on the game. And it's ridiculous how good his jump shot actually is. And like I said, if you haven't tried it, go try it. His defensive stats are good. He gets good rebounding animations. It's all tested. He could play in the top 10 right now as a hybrid 4 or at the 3 and with a big lineup. Like, his shot is just so dang fast that, like, people like them are people you got to pay attention to. Bron is also trophy case level. Bron is the inevitable best small forward on the game. I think the only person comparing to him is Julius Erving. If you were to put him at the 3, nobody else is even in his bracket besides the man that just dropped that we'll get to talk about soon. Next we got Luka. Luka is laughable. The reason Luka is laughable is because I still run into people using Luka thinking it's last year and his shot is still glitched and you could just walk up the court and shoot a 67% smothered and it says 4. This shows you if Luka's cards didn't have a glitch jump shot, he'd never be good, because this Luka card has not touched the lineup at all. Like, he's not touching any decent lineups because he can't shoot over people anymore. Well, I didn't even consider it shooting over. He was just shooting in people's mids. Next we got Lance Stevenson. I think everybody should have a copy of Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson is pretty cheap, and I do think he's better than a majority of the shooting guards that are even in good. Like, I like Lance Stevenson over DeMar DeRozan. I like him over J.R. Smith and Middleton. Like, you feel me? I like him over Caruso. Like, I like him. I like Lance Stevenson over Eddie Jones. Like, I think they're almost the same thing, but Lance Stevenson, like, can put the ball on the ground. His jump shot is a little bit better than he usually is, and his animations in the paint are ridiculous, and he could guard ball. Like, I really like Lance Stevenson on this game. I think everybody should have a copy of him, especially with what his price is. Next, we got Jordan. Jordan was and should have a copy, but I'm just going to put Jordan in good. It's because of how pesky he is on defense, and I still don't think to this day I've seen one of Jordan's Cradle historic Jordan dunk style packages get blocked yet. Jordan is good. It's just his price was so outrageous for a time, and his shot is just really baited. I like Jordan, though. I don't think he has a spot. We have too many good shooting guards. Next, we got MPJ. MPJ is good. MPJ can play in the top lineup right now. Shot is good. Defensive stats are good. He got glitch, so anybody who's glitch can almost usually play. I like MPJ. Could be a little bit better. I do think he should run the 3 instead of the 4, but I've seen some people run him at the 4 and have success. Next, we got Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges with the Devin Booker duo is good. Mikal Bridges without the Devin Booker duo is Everybody doesn't have a Devin Booker, so I'm going to keep him in for right now. But if you do put him in the game with Devin Booker, the amount of badges, let me show you in case you haven't seen it. His shot is really bad too, but like his regular stats, obviously he has 63 block, he has a 95 steal, 90 interior, but his stats aren't really that much to write home about. And then you give him Devin Booker's duo, and he gets like half catch, go guard up, go space, silver agent, silver rebound, go pogo, go half workhorse. Like, he turns into that much more of a dog. So basically, he's good regardless, but I'm putting him in good just because I want you to run him with Devin Booker if you want to use this card. Next, we have Yao Ming. Yao Ming is It's only because, like, outside of the paint, he is literally the biggest abusable, like, player on the court as of right now. He has 25 speed. He can't guard a parked car, but if you get him into the paint, the only people in the game that can stop him is Kareem, Wilt, Big Z, and Sabonis. So you take that how you want. Next, we got Moses Malone. Moses Malone is good. I think he's a great 4. I think he reminds me of like Karl Malone. They obviously had the same shot. He couldn't put the ball on the ground like Karl Malone could last year. But for a beginning card, I think Moses Malone is an easy, good lock-in that you can put in your lineup and still be successful. Next, we got Pete. Pete is laughable. I'm actually running Pete as my bench point guard right now just because I would really like to run Pistol Pete. Offensively, he's such a threat, but the defensive attributes they gave him this year are crazy, and the fact he also can't dunk. They did him probably some of the most. They did him. This is probably the most bogus they've ever did him in any game. Next, we got Ray Allen. Ray Allen is really good. I just think his player build is a little too small, in which I wouldn't play him over like Ron Artest or like a Jimmy Butler, etc. And his price is also, it's going down now, but he is good. But he's not to the point where I think everybody should have a copy. I just think if you know what you're doing offensively, he's going to be a threat. Next, we got RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is Like, it's not that he's bad. It's just I would run Lance Stevenson over him. His defensive attributes should be a little bit better. And his shot is really weird to me. It's probably because he's left-handed and he cocks it to the side as well. But RJ Barrett is smooth. It's just like, nobody's worried about him. Next, we got Ron Artest. Ron Artest is trophy case level. Him and Jimmy Butler are literally throwing hands. King Kong versus Godzilla. Like, Ron Artest has the better shot. Jimmy has more defensive badges. Ron Artest dang near got better stats. Jimmy has more defensive badges. Jimmy got normal fade. Ron Artest dang near got better stats. Like, you feel me? Trophy case level, if not better. Next, we got Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp is still good to this day. I think his only flaw is the fact he doesn't have anchor. Love his jump shot. Love his slashing. That's just it. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry goes in, just doesn't fit the meta of the game right now. Very easy to guard. All you have to do is step up on the screen, fake step, go back. He literally won't be able to score the ball on any of the good defenders because of how slow he moves laterally. Maybe when he gets another card, his dunk is like 80. We'll see something, but as of right now, outside of his 92 steal, unless you're abusing that, like, he's not just a crazy threat. But I do think he's one of the cards that you should... it's like I do think you should have a copy of Stephen Curry. Not the pink diamond, but I think you should have a copy of Stephen Curry because the purple Stephen Curry is a limited legend and an offline legend, but his pink diamond is Next, we got Tim Thomas. He is inevitably the best card on the game. Make sure y'all go watch my gameplay. I shouldn't have to talk to you. Like, I have the best gameplay out on YouTube on Tim Thomas. I've watched everybody's gameplay. Glory be to the people. I love every single one of y'all, but none of y'all gameplay was messing with mine. I'm telling you, like, that's it. I don't got to talk on Tim Thomas. Y'all know. Y'all should know. Next, we got Vince Carter. Vince Carter's good. I had no problem with Vince Carter. He just needs some better D stats, get some new D badges, and he'll be fine. Next, we got Wilt. Wilt is Wilt is because it's an inside center, and a lot of people struggle playing inside centers. I wish Jared Allen was on this list. If Jared Allen was on this list, he would be in good for those who would ask. But Wilt's just because it's inside, but he does get every single animation on the game. He's basically Kareem, but if Kareem couldn't shoot, literally. Lastly, we got Zion. I think everybody should still have a copy of Zion just because of how much of a threat he was, and it doesn't even have to be his pink diamond. Like, it can be unlimited, it could be triple threat online. Like, he's still one of the biggest threats in the paint on this game, and I love me some Zion, especially if you could time his shot. That's the tier list, fellas. 40 minutes long. Y'all see where I got everybody, man. You see the trophy case level. You see should have a copy. You see good. You see and you see laughable. I love every single one of y'all. If y'all got any questions or want to have some love, friendly banter under the comments, y'all do y'all thing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Stop by the Twitch, Splashy, on the road to 1,200 subs. Help me get there. Stop by the Twitter, Splash Edition. Turn on notice. DM me with any questions or comment on any questions. I love every single one of y'all. Make sure y'all have a blessed day. I'm gone. Peace.